Hi, I'm Marie McNeal. Welcome to Good Global Vibes. Good Global Vibes started in May 2020, and our intention is to shine the light on what works in the world. Next, you're going to see a medley. What works about forgiveness? What's beyond fear? What works about freedom? And even a new discovery about our earth. So enjoy.
I forgive, and I think anybody should forgive because we should want to live a fulfilled and purposeful life. And you can't live a fulfilled and purposeful life, a life full of meaning, if you're harboring bitterness and I think I heard resentment. All that does is limit you. It puts a cap on your potential. And so you don't want to give anybody that power or that authority over you. So let it go, release whatever the hurt, whatever the pain is. Don't harbor unforgiveness because you holding on to that, it will never change the past, but it will absolutely have an impact on your future. So that's why you forgive. The hardest issue that I've ever had to extend forgiveness for was infidelity. It was a very challenging and very difficult time for my marriage, for my relationship. It was difficult for me to do what I knew I needed to do. And everything in me wanted to look outward, wanted to point the finger at the other person or even at someone else, the other parties involved. But really, my relationship with the Lord had me look at myself and take responsibility, ownership for the things that I had done in the open door that I had left in my relationship. What really got me through it, what really helped me was, my Christianity, my faith, going back to the Word of God. I just had to completely remove myself from the equation. I had to think about the things that really mattered. And I was able to get beyond the hurt, get beyond, everything that had taken place and extend forgiveness. But he restored the relationship and he reconciled the marriage and reconciled the relationship and saved our marriage. And so I'm forever grateful for that. So I will always be a proponent of forgiveness because I personally have seen it operate in my life and have the right type of results.
There's an interesting story from World War II about fear. There's the beaches of Normandy. They're storming the beaches. And when they were in the trenches, bombs blowing around them, people were, the fear, it gripped them, that energy, that frequency of fear, it gripped them. And one guy, the fear is more in their mind of what's going to happen with all the bombs and everything. The reality is, either way, whether you stay in that situation or whether you push through it, you could die in that situation. But once the one gentleman rose out of the trenches and said, I can either die down here or I can die up there. And he lifted his mental frequency out of being paralyzed by it and decided to push through it. It actually broke the fear off of all the people around him. And they actually were able to push through and take the beaches of Normandy that day. So fear is.
Woo, I just got the goosebumps. I swear, I literally just got goosebumps. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Unless you push through that fear to overcome it, then you're just going to stay right where you're at, and nothing's going to change in that environment or that situation.
When you said not experiencing freedom, my mind went to three places. One, really good sex, where you become one with the person and you lose all sense of all of that. The second thing was music and the experience of creating music and losing self inside of creation of music. And I know some people experience that when they listen to music. And then the third thing that came to my mind was this bread pudding that I had yesterday. And the bread pudding, like, it was so good. The dopamine, I could feel the dopamine from the sugar happening as I was enjoying. In that moment, I felt free as the caramel dripped on my taste buds.
And the very cool thing is the methods that actually are cost effective are the same methods that nature figured out over billions of years, because the earth had a lot of CO2 at various times. And then nature figured out how to reduce the CO2, and it got to a level that life and nature and animals just flourished. And so nature figured out how to stabilize the CO2 there. We can use those same techniques. One of them is producing limestone, because it turns out that our planet, 99% of all the carbon is in limestone. That's where nature put it. And so there's a company here in Silicon Valley that can take CO2 out of the air or out of exhaust and take calcium, turn it into limestone, like the White Cliffs of Dover. Like the White Cliffs of Dover is limestone that was produced at the bottom of the sea there.
Wasn't that a beautiful medley? Shining the light on people who just have the most brilliant things to say and a new discovery about our earth. So if you know someone, a company, anyone that you would like us to shine the light on, something that's working in the world, please email us at goodglobalvibes@gmail.com. That's goodglobalvibes@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day.